Tonight on Chronicle, Santa's elves aren't the only ones toiling in the workshop around the clock. Why this artist is burning the midnight oil.
It's whimsical, and people just like to laugh, and I decided that that was what I was going to do because it was something that satisfied all my design, creativity.
A woman who is definitely ready for a little R&R. Peggy Roth's handmade miniature mobile was selected as the League of New Hampshire Craftsmen's annual ornament for 2007.
Now that's a great honor, but it also means making lots and lots of ornaments. Amy Covino shows us what it took to put this partridge in a pear tree.
If your true love really does give you a partridge in a pear tree this holiday season, chances are it was made in Peggy Roth's workshop. So you're feeling a bit like Santa's workshop?
I do, and I only wish that Christmas were in January for me, because I can't think about Christmas yet.
Peggy and her husband Rich toil away in a cozy log cabin in Dublin, New Hampshire. In April 2006, Peggy learned that her work was selected by the League of New Hampshire Craftsmen for the 2007 annual ornament.
This is artist proof number 1.
It is.
He was the one I submitted.
The competition is fierce. In fact, this was Peggy's 5th try. Getting the news is an unforgettable moment.
It was a message I didn't erase for about 6 months because I just loved hearing it.
Peggy Roth has been crafting flappers and floppers for the past 23 years. Winged mobiles that started as birds but have evolved to include pigs, dogs, even a toaster. She started with 5 designs and now has over 200.
I won a toy contest with Yankee Magazine in 1984, and I decided that that was what I was going to do because it was something that satisfied all my design, creativity.
Peggy says she really made a name for herself with the League of New Hampshire's annual craft fair in Sunapee. Now shops and boutiques around the state carry her flappers and floppers. Expressions Gallery in Milford has had Peggy's designs hanging from the ceiling for 13 years now.
The fact that it is kinetic, I think, is more interesting. It's not just a flat piece of art on the wall, it really grabs your attention.
Fairies and dragons are quite popular. Peggy Roth is proud that Aerosmith's Steve Tyler has one of her red dragons, a gift from his mother.
The mechanism is ancient. The idea of, the 3 pieces of wood and then having it fly, that's been around forever.
For the past year, these whimsical designs have been put on hold. Peggy works round the clock, sometimes until 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning.
Each one's a little work of art, I think.
The deadline is looming for 3,000 partridges in pear trees to be delivered to League of New Hampshire craft stores around the state.
It's not some mass-produced, import. This is something made by a person.
The process has evolved from hand-cutting each shape and tracing them with a paper stencil. Now Peggy has the shapes laser-cut out of furniture-grade birch plywood. The shapes come back sooty, so her husband Rich cleans and sands them. Now it's time for Peggy to bring them to life.
It's like drawing with fire.
The wood-burning tool goes up to 2,000 degrees. Smoke curls into the room as the wood circle begins to take shape.
I used to transfer the pattern, but after 3,000 of them, I can do it freehand now.
Peggy's helpers step in again. Rich stains parts of the ornament using an oil stain. And a woman trained by Peggy base paints every piece, leaving the art to the creator. In all, 5 layers of paint adorn this winning ornament.
The translucency is what gives it depth and shading.
Peggy works in batches of 50 on cardboard trays designed by her husband. She admits the greens on the wreath are the most tedious, so when she tires of one task, she moves to something else, like the movable wings.
It's stained on one side, painted on the other, then I shade them.
The League annual ornaments are signed, dated, and numbered by the artist, making this partridge part of a limited edition. The first day of Christmas has 6 hand-painted pairs, 3 on each side. It takes 300 pairs to adorn 50 ornaments, a task that takes an hour and a half.
And this is to give the pears some depth. You know, the blush on the pear.
After Rich glues them on, it's time to thread the wings onto the partridge with fishing line. Peggy uses a specialized tool designed by what she calls her better half.
And you can see why this rig is so nice, because my husband used to watch me holding these wings between my knees. And he goes, this is impossible.
Peggy's hands have memorized the movement of threading the fine, nearly invisible thread through the tiny holes.
3, 4.
Each ornament receives 32 hand-tied knots, and only Peggy can do this step. These hands have tied 95,000 fish line knots. As exhausted as Peggy admits she is, she says she's already thinking about the future.
Well, there's still, 2 turtle doves, geese a laying, swans a swimming, so I've got many years ahead of me if they want me.
Flappers and Floppers started as a hobby 23 years ago. Now it's a full-blown business that supports Peggy and Rich. So when your hobby becomes your career, what then do you do to relax?
This is a bad year to ask that because I don't think I've relaxed for a year.
Only artist proof number 1 is adorned with a special green ribbon. The rest are graced with gold, hand cut by a woman in her 80s who is blind.
Courtesy of my mother, over 3,000 of them. We listened to 7 Harry Potter books while she was doing it.
Quality control is Rich's domain. Every wing is flapped to assure they will stay put when shaped. Then partridges are placed in special boxes and topped with a card that gives a glimpse of the work that goes into each piece. They are then delivered to 8 league galleries around the state, the only places where you will find these special little works of art. They cost $21 each. Peggy plans to take a little time off after the Christmas rush, but she already has orders for her other pieces piling up.
As long as I have my hands and my eyes, I never ever picture stopping this.